MSEQ. What is MSEQ? Okay, let's go down to the drill down to the real basics. It's mid and side, or mono and stereo, depending who you speak to. So what we've got is all the information that's in the center channel and all the information on the outside. So what you are doing with this is you can manipulate the sound and the stereo field. A lot of stuff happens in the middle, but there is, reverbs and things that happen on the outside. On some equipment, you can mute the mono, so you can just hear the sides, and you can mute the sides and just hear the center. So you can do that with a lot of stuff. Now, do I use it? Yes, I do. I use it quite a bit, but I use it very, very sparingly. The reason why I warn on that is because it is very manipulative of somebody's mix. It depends whose tracks you're working on to how much of it you use. Because if you're working with a really good high-end producer, a good mix engineer, they really know their sound. Start messing around with the MS, which is messing around with the stereo image, it's going to really start to annoy them. But if you know what you're doing and you can do it very subtly, it can do some really good subtle tricks to really open mixes up, or to get things a lot tighter in the center. So there's loads and loads of different ways of using it, and they've developed over the years. People weren't really using MSEQ as much until about 10 years ago. There used to be really only 1 or 2 bits of equipment that would let you use MS mode. Now with plugins, plugins have got better over the last 10 years. There's loads and loads of MS plugins out there. But as I say, it's not a secret. It's not the mastering trick. It's not the hack that you think everybody's using as a mastering engineer. It's just another tool. So really calm down on it. Don't use it and think, wow, that's amazing. If I turn all the sides up, it goes really wide. Because a lot of the time with these kind of things, it's very gimmicky and you get excited by these big things that happen, but you're actually not doing a good thing. If you think about it, mono sounds really good when all the frequencies are covered for and you haven't got any other information in those frequency bands. For example, going back to the 50s and 60s, before my time and yours, I'm sure, you would have a bass kick in the bass and then drums and then blah blah, building up the signal in mono. So it worked really well, and that's still relevant today when you're mixing. If you mix in mono and then flip it to the stereo, then it should work in mono and still sound great in mono. So the only reason you're going to the stereo stuff is to spread things out, get even more space in your mix, which is a really important thing. So by using MS, I can just add it in the stereo to the top to give it a little bit of sparkle, make it sound a touch wider. Not too much, can start sounding a little bit weird. You can bring the sides down in the bottom, so you can tighten the low end and make that mono. Sometimes you can actually add, if you've got a very mono low end, you can actually add a little bit of stereo EQ and make it sound a little bit wider. Works very well on guitar music. You can pop the vocal out a little bit on a mastered track by doing a shelf in the mono around 1.7k. That'll just bring out the vocal a little bit and make the mid sound a bit lively. Can get a little bit harsh on your ear, that little EQ setting, but there's loads and loads and loads of different settings you can use. I've got loads of them. Carry on watching my Instagram feed, because I will be putting up tips every day on these different settings. So I'll show you different settings all the time very quickly. I don't really want to do a video now where I've just hitting loads and loads of stuff, because that's really boring. So I'll just hit out little ones, and on YouTube I'll also put them in the stories and things like that. So just watch my content and then you'll see little tidbits of MSEQ, how I'm using it for compression as well, and then you can build them up as you go, or try them as each one happens rather than just layering them all in here. So yeah, as a general rule of thumb, go really careful with MSEQ. MS compression, you don't really, if mastering we're talking about, just take your time, be careful, use it subtly, half dB here, a dB there, not a lot more than that. And yeah, carry on watching my channel and you'll see a few more ideas and tips apart from the ones I just gave you. So thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.